नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 9. Chapter titles Mother Yashoda binds Lord Krishna. Text 6. Let's repeat. Sanjata kopaha spurita aruna adaram sandasya dadbihi dadimanta bhajanam vidva mrisha asruhu drishat ashmana rahaha jahasa hayangavam antaram gataha sanjatakopa spuritarunadharam sanjatakopa spuritanurnaadaram sandasya dadbir dadimanta bhajanam sandasya dadbir dadimanda bhajanam Bitva mrishashrur drishatasmanaraho Bitva mrishashrur drishatasmanaraho Chahasa hayyangavam antaram gataha Jahasa hayyangavam antaram gataha Sanjatakopa spuritarunadharam Sandasya dadbi dadimanta bhajanam Bitva mrishashrur drishatasmanaraho Jahasa hayyangavam antaram gataha Sanjatakopa spuritanuradaram Sandasya dadbhi dadimanta bhajanam Bitva mrishashrur drishatasmanaraho Jahasa hayyangavam antaram gataha Sanjatakopa spuritanuradaram Sanjatakopaspuritanurādara Sandasya dadhe dadimanda bhajanam Vidvamashasur visarjatmanaraho Yaha sahayandaram mantaram. Word to word translation. Sanjatakopaha. In this way, Krishna being very angry, Spurita Aruna Adaram, swollen reddish lips, Sandasya, capturing, Dadbihi, by his teeth, Dadimanda Bhajanam, the pot in which yogurt was being churned, Bitva, breaking, Mrisha Asruhu, with false tears in the eyes, Drishat Asmana, with a piece of stone, Rahaha, in a solitary place, Jahasa, began to eat, Hayyangavam, the freshly churned butter, Antaram, within the room, Gataha, having gone. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation. Being very angry and biting his reddish lips with his teeth, Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. Then he entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter in a solitary place. Purport. It is natural that when a child becomes angry, he can begin crying with false tears in his eyes. So Krishna did this, and biting his reddish lips with his teeth, he broke the pot with a stone and entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pascharya Peshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sanjatakopas Puritarunadaram Sandasya Dadbhi Dadimanta Bhajanam Bitva Mrishasrur Drishadasmanaraho Yahasahayanga Vamantaram Gataha. Being very angry and biting his reddish lips with his teeth, Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. Then he entered a room and began to eat the freshly churned butter in a solitary place. Hare Krishna. So we are hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam, this 10th canto, 9th chapter. Here the famous Krishna's this Damodar Leela. Here we are discussing. So now we see in previous verse we saw how Mother Yashoda with hard labor she was churning yogurt to get butter. That butter is also for Krishna. She is preparing, and then we saw how Krishna suddenly wakes up, and then he searches for his mother, and then he went to his mother and he was taking milk from her breast. And at that time we saw how because Yashoda she was boiling milk in the stove. So she saw that the milk was overflowing. So she wanted to turn off that fire. So she dropped Krishna and then left him, and then she hurriedly went to switch off this fire. We saw how yesterday this Yashoda's behaving like this. We heard that how different acharyas explains how Yashoda's performing this action is correct. How, because ultimately we have to do anything for pleasing Krishna. So Krishna was taking milk from her mother, but before he fully satisfied, Mother Yashoda dropped Krishna and then went to turn off that fire. But she knows that milk is also for Krishna only. So we saw from the yesterday's purport also how Prabhupada was mentioning about how devotees, Krishna within the heart, Krishna gives the guidance to do which one to do first and then what to do next. So Krishna only gives this intelligence. So what Yashoda did was correct. Then now we have to see then in this verse, because of this action of Yashoda, now Krishna becomes angry, correct? So then now becoming anger, is that wrong on part of Krishna or what? Then we can see how it goes. So Yashoda was correct. That means Krishna was wrong or not? What he was doing in this verse? This verse says that because of anger, he broke that pot. So we'll discuss about these things. And here it's clearly visible that Krishna is here expressing his anger by breaking the pot. Correct. So in purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions about this false tears. Even an ordinary child, shed false tears. So here, even in locally, we say about Mudalai Kannir, crocodile tears. Actually, crocodile, because to give out the salt from his body, the crocodile sometimes through eyes it gives salt, and it stays near the eyes, and it looks like it's crying. That's why when one falsely cries, we will say it's like crocodile tears. So here, actually, if you see here, Krishna, because of his hunger, he is crying. That's okay. But Krishna may wait for some time, because after turning off, Mother Yashoda will come again. Again, he is going to feed him only. But here, suddenly, because of anger, what Krishna does, he just broke the pot. So after breaking the pot, Krishna understood, oh, I did a mess here. So he starts crying. And this crying also, if we cry, if we do something, if a child cries, maybe that punishment you will get less, because mother will see compassionately, oh, son is crying. So even though he did mischievous activity, sometimes, because of crying, the punishment will go, small punishment will get. So for that, even the small child, they do some mess, and then just by seeing the parents, they immediately start crying, and then immediately they can stop the crying. So that's why it's called a false cry, because just to get rid of punishment, they suddenly wants to cry. All the conditioned soul, they are also becoming angry for various reasons, and it's mainly mentioned like it's mainly mentioned that because our lust is not satisfied, we'll get angry. Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, Jayato Vishayan Pumsa, Sangas Te Subhajayate, Sangat Sanjayate Kama, Kamat Krodat Abhijayate. So, when our lust is not satisfied, then it turns into krodha, anger. This conditioned soul, when it comes to the material world, conditioned soul enters here to enjoy. He wants enjoyment. Whatever actions he performs, it's merely for enjoyment only. So, for that enjoyment, he commits so many things just to gratify the senses, and it's nature that here we are not going to get any happiness in this material world. So surely we are going to be frustrated, and because of that frustration, we'll show anger. And then Krishna mentions in the next verse of Bhagavad Gita, Krodat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vipramaha, smriti bramshat buddhinashat pranashyati. So, when after anger, because of anger, our intelligence, we will lose our intelligence, and then because of that, we will commit so many abominable activities. What is the root cause? Desire to satisfy the senses, and because the senses will not be satisfied, people commit so many sinful activities. Actually, we are in three modes of nature. So, because of everybody is conditioned in three modes of nature, and the enjoyment conditioned soul gets also, in three modes of nature. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. So, those who are in Sattva Gun, their enjoyment, at the end, at the last, they want this Brahma Shuga, they want to merge in impersonal Brahman. And then those who are in a mode of passion, they work for fruity results. They will do something, they will hanker for heavenly enjoyment. And then those who are conditioned by Tamahun, they do so many sinful activities like illicit sex, gambling, meat eating. So these sinful activities they perform. So even one may be in goodness or passion or ignorance, whatever enjoyment that we get from the senses, derive from the senses, all those enjoyments binds us to this material world. So we should be very careful in performing the activities. And when one when one is under the three modes of nature, we cannot understand who is Lord. We cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead when we are controlled by the material nature. Also, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj mentions that Sukam Aindriyakam Daitya, Deha Yohana Dehinam. So, this sense enjoyment is available in all the forms of life. But here, now we got this human form of life. So, we should not misuse this human form of life just for enjoying senses, which can be seen in any form of life. Also, Rishabhadev, in his instructions, he also mentioned, Nunam pramatta kurute vikarma, idindriya pritaya pranoti. So, because of indriya priti, because of sense gratification, actually people are mad after sense gratification. Because of that, they commit so much sinful activities. So, but they don't understand that already we are in a conditioned body, already we are suffering, taking a material body, but they don't understand that already we are suffering, and because of again and again committing the same, indulging in same sense gratification, we have to suffer again in other forms also. This conditioned soul forgets. So our goal of life should not be, sense gratification. Rather, our goal of life should be for reviving our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to utilize this human form of life to know, to understand who we are, who is God, how to attain Him, how to attain Him. This we have to understand. Otherwise, we will lose this opportunity of going back to Godhead if we don't utilize it properly. Also, from here, actually, Prabhupada mentions about this, even this ordinary child having this, even ordinary child performs some mischievous activity and start crying, becoming angry. This will be relishable. This will be relishable to the parents. And then, but we see in this material world, some people say that, okay, he is child. They compare child with God. Whatever activities they perform, they just ignore. Oh, this is small child. We should see child as a God. We cannot compare God with anyone, even with the child also, because we can see even in some household activities, there are some pious families. In their pious families also, they will be performing yajnas, pujas and all. But when they saw child, they just get lost because of its beauty and its actions. Because these childish activities are all pleasing to everyone. Everyone likes to be with child and to see his child's mischievous activities. Sometimes it cries, sometimes it laughs. We can see child will be playing with the toys. If you just take the toy, immediately it will start crying. And if you give, suddenly it stops its crying. So seeing all this, they take pleasure. And then the same mischievous activities, when it is when it performs, when it disturbs, when elderly parents, they do some yajnas and these pujas, they just simply ignore in that. We can see actually normal people considers childish activities to be godly, means God's nature. But we can see from Prabhupada's instructions, we can see, first time when I heard, I was little surprised. This child from, I don't exactly remember the age, till 8 years or 5 years, I don't know. They are like animals. They are innocent, but they are animals, means they are so innocent, they don't know anything. They are in ignorance. This we have to see, and from the beginning we have to teach them what is right, what is cleanliness, what is not cleanliness. This we have to clean. Otherwise, as Prabhupada mentions, religion without philosophy is simply sentiment. So we will be in sentimental platform, and we will also not get the benefit, and we will not train the child also. This also we have to consider. And then we are seeing here that Krishna is becoming angry here. So actually, generally the anger is not a good quality. But now why Krishna is exhibiting this quality, and why he is breaking the pot? So Krishna is never under the modes of material nature. This we have to understand. This anger comes because of passion. But when Krishna exhibits these qualities, anger or lying or stealing, whatever, when Krishna performs these activities, he is not within he is not performing these activities because of the influence of material nature. Because influence of material nature never touches Krishna, because it is his own energy. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that it is my energy. And also in Kunti Maharani also mentions in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nivrittara Vittaye. So he is transcendental to modes of material nature, and but sometimes because he performs exactly like a human being, these actions bewilders normal people. So this is also mentioned. And this is like an actor acting in a stage. When a performer performs a show, he wears different costumes, different makeups, and we cannot identify who he really is. Similarly, Krishna is exactly playing like an ordinary child, as a perfect child. So, by seeing, unless we hear from proper source, we will also will be carried away by illusion, because Krishna's form is been uh, covered by illusory energy. Actually, our eyes are covered by illusory energy. Unless we hear from authorities, we cannot understand Krishna. And Krishna himself is mentioning about himself that he is, all these three modes of nature are under him. So, because of these material of modes of nature, people are not able to understand him. But he was not under material modes. He clearly explains about this. And we can see, because when we see all these contradictions, Maharaj in one lecture mentions that if you apply logic, if you want to know Krishna logically, you cannot. Maharaj gives the example of a frog. A frog, we do not know which way it will jump. It may jump this way, any way it can jump. Similarly, Krishna may act in any way. So unless we accept this, Krishna is actually unpredictable. Unless we accept this principle, we cannot properly understand Krishna. And actually, Krishna performs like a perfect child, behaves like a perfect child. The reason is, obviously, we heard in many previous verses also, many times we heard, he performs, he enacts his pastimes just for his enjoyment. Just for his enjoyment and just to give pleasure to the devotees. Otherwise, there is no need. Here we can see Yashoda, because she wanted to turn off the fire, she was running. If Yashoda might have some mystic powers in her, like just by seeing that side and then turning off. If she has a mystic power, she, from the same place, she would have breastfeed the child. At the same time, she would have turned off the fire. If she had she had mystic power, she didn't exhibit that. That is one thing. But still, these things are not attracting Krishna. These mystic powers, will not attract Krishna, because we can see in the previous verses we saw that it is not that Yashoda becomes the mother of Krishna. Actually, we heard that Krishna himself chooses who is his mother. So he didn't choose any great yogi, big scientist or mystics. He selected Krishna. He selected Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, because because she has the pure love for Krishna. Only this attracts Krishna. And we can see even devotees also, they also don't care for this mystics and all. When Krishna, in previous chapter we saw, when Krishna showed universal form, and previous to that chapter also killed many demons. But when the Gopas explained that, oh, Krishna himself killed this demon, actually the Vrajavasis, they don't bother about that. They tell, oh, this may be some influence of maybe demigods. They just neglected. They want to see Krishna himself as a ordinary child, and they want to place him in that way. So this we have to understand. And also Krishna also has mystic power. We can see many times he exhibits that. But here we can, on my question, sometimes if all this mystic power, if each and every time Krishna exhibits, that will not be more relishable. So in this material world we can see even this foolish people, they get attraction for this mystic powers. Even those who are this worshippers of Sai Baba and all. In my childhood, I saw one movie there. There is a movie. The door has to be opened, so the hand will extend to big distance, and it will close. And the devotee, the so-called devotee of that Sai Baba, he saw, and then he will attract that. There's so many things. They will show all this magic, and they will propagate all these things that God will show the mystic power, and they like people, ordinary people like such kind of gods. But pure devotees, they never expect anything in exchange. They simply want to, they perform simply for the satisfaction of the Lord. They perform the activities. And also, we can understand that here Krishna is getting anger. Why he is getting anger? But in one sense, we can see even the devotees of Krishna, they were freed from this lust, anger, and greed. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that Vitaraha Bhayakrodha Manmana Mamupashataha. So, this attachment, fear, anger, these devotees, even they were freed from all those things. Then how Krishna will be influenced by three modes of nature, and how Krishna will be influenced by this anger. So this is not possible. And also we can have or even many devotees have this practical experience also. Even when we are doing devotional service, sometimes like Janmashtami, whole day service will be there. We will not, sometimes we will not feel hunger, thirst and all. We'll just continuously will keep on doing service, and next day we will be surprised. Oh, these many things, services we did, and we didn't drink water or took prasadam. So sometimes even devotees, they have this feeling. Even they are freed from this hunger, thirst and all. So anger. So this. So that means surely Krishna is not completely under the modes of nature, and because of modes of nature, he is not performing this, exhibiting this angry mode. And then in one lecture in Vishnu Sahasranam, Maharaj gives Krishna's one of the name is Jitamanyu, Jitakrodha. So one who conquers anger, he mentions. And then also there he mentions there are three kinds of, three levels actually in that Krodha. So Manyu means mentally they have some anger. Sometimes we have some actions will happen and will be mentally disturbed, and mentally they will show anger. And then second level is Kopa. Kopa means Kopam, Tamil, even in Tamil it's there. Kopa means in a gesture or in a speech we will express our anger. And Krodha means just just in action, physically we will punch, like that. So there are three levels. So Krishna is Jita Krodha. He is above all this. He conquered all the anger. And then he gives the example like how these great sages, they want to know who is supreme. So they appointed Brihumani to understand who is supreme. So first Brihumani was son of Brahma. So he entered Brahma's palace. Brahma is actually father and Brihumani is son. So he has to offer obeisances first immediately. But he didn't do that. So immediately, because of this mental offense, Brahma gets irritated and then he showed his anger. And then he went to Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva actually, it's almost like brother of Brihu, because Brahma is also, Shiva also comes from Brahma. So immediately after seeing Brihumani, Lord Shiva running and want to embrace him, and Brihumani, oh, you are sitting in this crematorium and you are full of dust, so you are impure. Like that, he verbally offended Shiva, and Shiva also got angry. And when he went to Vishnu, he just directly went and just hit with his foot in the chest of Vishnu. Lord Vishnu didn't become angry. He just asked Brihumani, oh, so maybe he expressed that like Lord Vishnu expressed like, oh, my hard chest might have damaged your, might hurt your feet. So in this way he expressed. So then they come to know that who is supreme. So Lord Vishnu is supreme. They come to know. So in this way, you can mention in so many places, Krishna actually conquered these things, and then this is clearly visible that he is not under the modes of nature. And then, but we can see in past times in Mahabharata, also in many past times, uh, Krishna exhibits his anger in other way. We can see whenever devotees were harassed, devotees were blasphemed, Krishna cannot control his anger. So, for devotees' pleasure, for devotees' sake, uh, he he even kills also. We can see in Mahabharata when the fighting in the battlefield, when the fighting was going on, um, Bhima was promised. Bhima took a vow to kill Arjuna on the battlefield, and we also heard that Krishna, he already took a vow that I will not take any weapons. I will not fight physically. He already mentioned, but uh, there Bhishma took a vow to kill Arjuna one day, and then he fought so vigorously that next moment Arjuna is going to be killed by the next blow. Seeing that, seeing the devotee in that situation, Krishna, even though he promised not to fight, he broke that promise for devotee's sake, and then he just in an angry mood. It's mentioned Krishna in an angry mood he was running and his cloth was dropping off. He didn't even see that in that so ferocious mode. So he was running and trying to kill Bhishma. So here also there we can see, and then in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's past time we can see Jahai Man Madai. Nityananda Prabhu was asked to go and preach, and then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard that this Jagay and Mahadai were harassed Nityananda Prabhu, so immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself is most merciful incarnation. So in this age, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a vow he will not take any weapons, but at that time for the devotees' sake he exhibits his anger. So we can see this for devotees' sake, Lord is ready to do anything. So we also have to be ready to do anything for the pleasure of Lord. So, and also we should be careful that we should not offend the devotees, because Krishna likes devotees more than himself. So we have to be careful. So these are few things we can see, and also one more thing. All this in so many places, uh, each and every action of Krishna is mentioned, through the scriptures, and from this we can understand that God is a person. He is not impersonal. He is a person. He has emotions. This also we can learn from all these actions. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here. Any questions or comments?
You mentioned that Krishna is none of the modes of material nature. So therefore, when he exhibits anger, it's not because of the influence of the modes of material nature. It's because he's just exhibiting anger because he's the supreme and he can do whatever he wants. Similarly, the devotees can also utilize anger. Prabhupada says that anger is also there in the jiva soul, because he has all the qualities of Krishna but in minute quantity. So jiva soul can also become angry if it's used in the service of Krishna. So I just wanted to make that point. So if a devotee sees that another devotee is attacked, he can use anger to help that devotee. So anger can also be used in Krishna consciousness and devotional service by the devotees.
One small correction that in this today's verse, one of the main point was this false tears. So if we see the verse, actually, the tears comes before Krishna breaking the pot. It's not after. Means we were discussing like Krishna broke the pot and then he was crying to escape from the punishment. But if the verse, if we see, Dadimanta Bhajanam, and in the translation, I will just read the translation because we don't have the text in the screen. Being very angry and biting his reddish lips with teeth, Krishna, with false tears in his eyes, broke the container of yogurt with a piece of stone. So these tears were before breaking the pot. So this was not to escape from the punishment. But we will see in future that when Yashoda gets Krishna, when he, before binding him in the mortar, that he cries, that was to escape from the punishment. So this is one thing. And also means to prove that Acharyas, they give explanation very nicely that here the word, what is that? Mrishashrur. So if we separate the two words in the word by word meaning, Prabhupada gives like Mrisha Ashruhu, with the false tears in his eyes. But there is a word before that, it's Bitva. Bitva means breaking. So what Acharyas they are explaining, this Bitva, it's ending with the long A, Bitva, Mrishashrur. So Acharyas are splitting into Britva and Amrishashrur. Amrishashrur means it's real tears. So Srila Jiva Goswami, he gives explanation that though Krishna in many places he performs false tears, but in this place especially this was a real tears. Because there was no one else, even Yashoda was not there, so that means Krishna makes a false tear to escape from the situation. It was completely a private pastime. So Acharyas, they explain that there was no one, so whatever emotions was in Krishna's mind, it was real, and also the tears were also real tears. Why Krishna is crying? Because he was unsatisfied. He was not fully satisfied while drinking the milk. So they give explanation that these were real tears. So just wanted to make that one point. And one more point also interesting, that Drishat Ashamana, when Krishna broke the pot. So last 2 days we were here in yesterday's class, Krishna's Prabhu was mentioning when milk was bought, milk wanted to commit suicide because in spiritual world everything is conscious entity, even the matter, whatever. And day before yesterday's in the class when I was giving, we were seeing these bangles, everything was making musical noise. They were not some ordinary noise, it was musical, because again same thing, because all of them are conscious, so they were making. So here interesting thing what happens, that normally we see when somebody hits something, then there will be usually some noise, and especially when you hit a pot, and that also with a stone, usually noise comes. But here in Bhagavatam it is not directly given, but there was no any noise, because if any noise had come, then immediately Yashoda would have come back to see what was that noise. So though Krishna hit the pot with the stone, both the stone and the pot, they were conscious that Krishna should not get caught, so there was no any noise. That was one more interesting.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.